I'll be showing 9 new features in Microsoft Teams meetings. The first new feature is presenting directly from PowerPoint into Teams. This is one of my favorites that's come out recently because a lot of people are using Teams meetings right now. I have a PowerPoint deck open, and in the upper right, you're going to see a Present in Teams button that's recently appeared. This is rolling out in Office Insiders right now, and will be rolling out into the Office 365 connected version of PowerPoint Desktop. It's also on the slideshow tab. There's a button right here, Present in Teams. So it's in 2 places. Now, before I click that button, let's make sure that you've already started the Teams meeting. So here's Teams meeting. I'm in this and there's a couple other people, and I'm going to upload my deck directly into here with one click. You need to make sure that the Teams meeting is started before you do this, or else you get a prompt. Okay, back in PowerPoint, I'm going to go to the upper right and click Present in Teams. It starts uploading. Now my entire deck has been uploaded directly into PowerPoint Live mode. I didn't have to click the share tray or upload other things. I just did the one click from PowerPoint and it puts it right into here. And this is this new PowerPoint Live mode inside of Teams. So you can see my slides along the bottom. If I have things like presenter notes, they appear right here. The second new feature is the updated share tray in your meetings. So I'm going to start a meeting here. And we'll join. Now in the upper right, I'm going to go to the share tray and I'm going to click this. And now it's a drop down and it's organized a bit better. First, and really important, include computer sound is right here. So that's if you're sharing and you want to make sure audio on your end comes through on the other side. You've also got presenter mode. I'm not going to show that today because this hasn't fully rolled out. And then we have the screen or the window, and this is really important. So if you're looking for many of the windows you have open, I click this and all of my open windows open. So if I want to show my reading progress deck here, that shares it out immediately, takes over your screen. I click here to unshare and we'll go back. And so if you want to choose from the different windows, those are right in here. And
Chrissy, if you sit closer to your computer screen, you might swallow it, eh?
the little back button to go back. If you want to share your entire screen, you click here, and then PowerPoint Live. So if you want to upload a presentation and go into PowerPoint Live mode, like I just showed earlier, you can upload it from your computer, or if there's an existing one, you click here and it will put you right into PowerPoint Live mode. And then also Whiteboard right here is in a much easier to find area. So I'm going to start a whiteboard. So let's click this. The third new feature are more options for your sticky note colors. So I've got a sticky note here and I'm going to add a different color. So I'm going to go here and I'll click, and now I've got a nice red sticky note. And I'll go back here and I'll make a blue one and I'll make a green one. And also, if you note, this toolbar has been updated to the new Fluent UI, so it's fitting into the overall Fluent design patterns that Microsoft's been creating. The fourth new feature are improved options for shapes and arrows on your whiteboard. So this button here, if I click it, there's a bunch more shapes. Maybe I want a triangle, let's go here. Maybe I want to get a little diamond, go click here. And if I want to change the color of my diamond or any of the other shapes, I go here. Maybe I want a gold diamond and also the outline of that. So I can click here and maybe I want blue on the outside of my gold diamond. A lot of options. There are also line connectors. So I've got an arrow here. If I want to connect a shape and have the old arrow pointing, if I'm making flow charts, that's really handy. I can have a double arrow. Maybe I want to go here. I'm going to click this and change that to you have one pointing to the other. So a lot of options in terms of the arrows as well as the shapes. The fifth new feature are improvements to the inking tools, including colors and thickness and highlighters. So I've selected a pen here and I click on it again, and it pulls up this dialog. I can make it much thicker, let's say. Got all these different colors to choose from. I'll keep it on one of my favorites, which is purple, and I might do my little writing on the board here, say hi. Now I go to the highlighter, I select the highlighter, and I click it again, and look at all these different highlighter options. So maybe I want to highlight in a bright blue and make it really thick. I'm going to highlight right here over my hi. And I can go back here and again choose different colors and thicknesses. So you can play around quite a bit and experiment with all the different ink options on your whiteboard. The 6th new feature is disable video in meetings. This allows anyone who's the organizer of a meeting to disable all the videos of their participants or allow enabling or disabling one at a time. So first off, I'm going to hit the Show Participants pane, and I'm the organizer in this meeting, and I'm going to go to the 3-dot menu here, and you'll see this Disable Camera for Attendees. So I'm going to click this and confirm. Bye-bye, everyone. I've just disabled your video. I feel pretty bad about that. Now you can see here all the little videos are disabled where I'm hovering. I can go onto an individual. So in this case, I want to have Ann Cosma, and I can say allow camera. I hit the 3-dot menu because we know Ann is always having something nice to say and show us. I've re-enabled you. Hey, Ann. Good job. Now I can click on a 3-dot here. You know, Journey, I feel like I'm going to allow your camera too, so I can click the 3-dot on here and say Journey can re-enable. Hey, Journey, welcome back. And if I go back to the 3-dot menu here, I'll say allow all cameras for attendees. Confirm. You can all now re-enable your cameras. Welcome back, everyone. Now, if you want to go into the meeting options, I'll go to the 3-dot menu here and choose meeting options. Let's say you want to, before the meeting starts, not allow anyone to enable their cameras. You want people, coming on with all these balloons and bubbles. I just can't handle all that color aim. I want to keep it a really boring meeting. No cameras allowed. So I would go here and this allow camera for attendees. I would turn that off, and I would do that before the meeting starts.
See nothing.
The 7th, 8th, and 9th new features are all breakout rooms. I'm going to go to the top here and click the breakout rooms button, and I'm going to put a couple of breakout rooms together. I'll choose manually to create the rooms. Now I've created 2 rooms here, the blue room and the yellow room. By the way, if you want a detailed deep dive breakout room video, look in the link in the upper right. We're going to go fast through this one and just show the updates. So I will go to the 3-dot menu here, and you will see room settings. Choose this, and I'm going to choose set a time limit. We now have time limits for breakout rooms. So I could set it for multiple hours. In this case, I'm just going to set it for 30 minutes. So I can scroll down and choose 30 minutes. Now when that 30-minute limit is hit, the breakout rooms will close and everyone will be brought back into the main room. There's also a switch here that says participants can return to the main meeting. Maybe you want to let them leave early and come back, but by default, this is off, so they can't come back to the main room until this timer is ended. Let's go back here, and we'll assign participants. So Ella and Alex are in the blue room, and Rosie is in the yellow room. Now I'm going to start the rooms. The 8th new feature allows you to reassign people in breakout rooms while the rooms are open. This is something that wasn't allowed in the past, but now it is. So I will click Start Rooms. Rooms are opening, and people will get moved in there automatically. Okay, now both rooms are open, the blue room and yellow room. Now let's say while the rooms are happening, I want to move Ella from the blue room into the yellow room. I can expand this, and I will select Ella, and I click Assign. And I'm going to move her to the yellow room. So it says Moving, and now Ella has been moved into the yellow room. So you can move it while the room is open. Now we're going to close the room so I can show you the final feature. Closing rooms. The 9th new feature is recreating a new set of breakout rooms during your existing breakout rooms session. Okay, now both rooms are closed. Now what happened in the past was you couldn't recreate and start new rooms after you've closed them for one session. But what you can do now is go to the 3-dot menu here and choose to recreate rooms. So I'll click this. I click Recreate, and now I can create a set of new rooms. So I'm going to choose manually here. This time I'll make 3 rooms and click Create Rooms. Now there's 3 new rooms here. I can rename them, and I can assign people to these different rooms. So it allows you to recreate new rooms in the same breakout meeting session. If you found this video useful, give it a like. Now, if you want to keep up with all the latest videos I'll be releasing, subscribe to my channel and then just ring the bell to keep notified for all the latest posts.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. We're just checking you can see me, hear me, and I'm getting the thumbs up. So we're going to start. So this beginning of MIE, just hold on a second. Sorry, doors are open and people are talking on phones. Okay, we just thought today that we would give a recap and a refresher on setting up Teams meetings because we're all back in online teaching mode and hybrid teaching mode and the things that Brescia do, and show you some of the new features. So I'm not in the meeting you're in, so we're going to use the combination of a screen share and a camera and the microphone, so we hope you can follow along. So the first thing that you need to do is to create a meeting for your the girls in your class to attend. And hopefully Kevin's going to share my screen and you'll be able to see me on the screen. Please, there are a couple of tricks when you do this. Trick one is to go to Teams calendar rather than doing it in Outlook. So in Teams, we went to calendar and then we go to new meeting. So when I do my lessons, I call them something that helps me and the girls in my class. So for example, 11 key for innovation team. Actually, let's just make that grade 12. And then when we put a meeting in, I choose the date and the time next to the clock icon. If you're going to repeat your lessons, please note that if we are in the high school and you want to repeat every 2 weeks, you can use custom. However, please make sure you select an end date so that they don't go on and on forever, because we've still got some of the girls in the school that have meetings set by teachers from last year that are still in their diaries this year, even though they've moved up a grade. The best option is to add a channel. So you look for the channel that you, the team that you are making your lesson for, and you select a channel. I'll show you that in my Teams, I have a channel called Virtual Lessons, and then you press Send. The reason for doing this is that when the girls join the lesson, they know where to go. So while that's creating, I'm going to show you in my grade 11 class. If I go to one of their channels, there are all their lessons, and therefore they know if it's on a green Wednesday, the button to join will be there. Even though it shows up in their calendar, they know which time they need to be in the lesson, and it's easier to find it. It also means that the recordings will end up in this same channel, will be all my recorded lessons from the hybrid and online teaching I've done all year in that channel. So if we go to the channel that the meeting request I chose now, there's the one I created. There's the meeting. I could join it. I join it with the microphone off and the audio off, and I say join now. Okay, it will tell me my speakers are muted because everything is off to stop the playback in this room. Now I sit and wait. Before my two children in my class are going to join the lesson, I want to show you a couple of important things about your meeting. So I'm going to leave it. If I go back into my meeting, So if I'm back either in my channel or in my calendar, and I open the meeting, I'm going to open the series because I made it repeat twice. I get something called meeting options. There are new meeting options since we did last hybrid and online learning. Those people who did it at the beginning of the year will remember that one is to do with the bypassing the lobby. If you do not want to have to let people in and admit them, this is where we change that setting. So normally we have it set to only me. That means just like your class can't go into your classroom until you are in the meeting, only you can go into the meeting, and you can then admit the girls as they join the call. That is the better option to use, okay? At this place, I also choose who can present, only me. I can choose to allow microphones for the attendees, cameras for the attendees, and reactions. And I'll show you what reactions are. But I press save. Okay. I go back into my team meeting. Now it's the time for my lesson. I press join. I join now. And Wendy and Tracy are kindly going to be the pupils in my class. Remember, they just finding the link. They can find it in their diary, but they can find it also in that channel. So now Tracy is sitting in the lobby, so I'm going to admit Tracy. But what I found is when children who are late for class, to keep stopping to admit people. So once I've admitted the first couple that are waiting for me, I click on the three dots, I go to meeting options in the meeting here, and I say that everybody or people in my organization, because I've only invited everybody in the organization to that. That means when Wendy joins the meeting, she will no longer sit in the meeting lobby. She will come straight in, even though she's late for class. Sorry, I need to find. Oh, and Mrs. Sartoff, you need to join the meeting with your microphone muted and your audio off. Okay. So when I join meetings, Mrs. Sartoff, you've lost the meeting. You've left. There she's back. Okay. When I join, I make all my girls join with their mics off and their videos off till I'm ready. Then I ask them, depending on what I do at one point, to switch them on. Most cases, so when I'm teaching, I actually share my desktop. So I click on the shared content icon, and you will see it has moved. So I'm just going to switch my camera on so you can see me that way. When I share the content, it's now on the right-hand side. This is the button to include computer sound. This here is a new mode, and if I choose stand out, you will see in the meeting me plus the content of my screen, okay? And I want to share my screen because I find it's much easier. Apparently you've lost sound. Okay. I'm going to just minimize this so that I can see. Now, when I write on the board, the people can see what I'm writing and participate. At this point, I make the girls in my class be sitting, if they're at home, with girls in the class with their microphones on. Because if you tell them to put up their hands, you actually can't see it because you're looking at a screen without their faces on it, whether their cameras are on or off. So I tell them they have to shout, and just like if I've got children in the back row, every now and then I pick on somebody behind my whiteboard screen and say, what is the next answer? Listen, and hopefully they haven't left and gone to sleep. So what happens in the new teams when you've got somebody else, and I've sent the information, if you remember correctly, that I've said that only I can share my screen. So now Wendy has got a presentation to share in the class. So
Is this on now?
first I have to go to participants. Can you hear me now? So first I go to participants and I find Wendy's name. And I click on the three dots and I make her a presenter. Okay, and I'm changing her presenter. Now she would be able to mute and admit people and present and share her screen. Because I want to record for everybody what Wendy says, I can go to the three dots and say start recording. There is a delay between pushing start recording and it actually starting to record. If you look here, it says recording pending, and then the red light comes on and there's a message to all participants. So now I'm going to check Wendy is ready to share into the screen and present her PowerPoint. Oh, here we go. Here comes Wendy to share into our screen. Wendy, I'm going to switch my mic off so they can hear you.
Thanks, Liz. Hopefully everybody can hear me. I'm just looking for some nods around the room, so that's good. So just following on from what Lynette has been talking about, she's been talking about some of the technicalities of setting up a meeting. But one of the things that is sometimes hard for us as teachers is to transition our classroom management from a present in the classroom situation to one where we are actually on the back foot, or not the back foot, we are actually online. I mean, we feel like we're on the back foot. Sometimes that's an important thing to note, especially as you've seen me sometimes struggle with the technology in our meetings. Understand that sometimes things are going to go wrong for you, and that's okay. So the first thing I just want to say is, in talking about some of the ideas today, we do understand that each grade is unique. So what works in grade 2, what works in grade 12, etc. Cherry pick the ideas that you think are relevant to your context. And also remember that not every lesson is the same. So choose things. The bit that I was trying very hard to demonstrate in Lynette's beginning of her lesson is you are going to have that student who joins late. You are going to have a student who forgets to turn their mic off or forgets to turn their camera off or whatever the case may be. And I do suggest that you think about making sure that your students are clear about whether or not they need to have their cameras on when they join, and if you expect them to be present and focused, and what are your expectations when joining the meeting as well. Students only know that if we are explicit. They're not very good at osmosing information. I also think it's important that we should just note there's a balance to be struck between the privacy of our students and making sure that they are actually present. In other words, if you don't need the camera on, don't have it on for the sake of. Like Leonard was saying, if you're demonstrating on the whiteboard, you can't actually see them anywhere. There's no need. But equally, we all know that somebody's going to do something like put up a photograph of themselves rather than actually in front of the camera, or somebody else is going to go lie on their bed. That you need to use your professional judgment. So what I mean by being present, things that we can do to help manage our students' presence in the lesson is using things like reactions, and Leonard is going to show that to you. We also need to get them to post emojis in the chat, because that's also a way of making sure that they are engaged. And also, it doesn't always have to be an image. I can actually ask them to put responses to questions in the text as well. Ask them to respond, like Leonard has said, but also we need to explain the reasons why you want them to be present. So like today, I had a child who wanted to do her reading lesson on the bed. And I tried to explain to her, the reason you sit behind the desk is not only for all those other good reasons that we know, but you also need to have a divide in your room between your workspace and your personal space. And she understood it a bit better then and was a lot more willing to get herself off the bed. Also, we need to teach our students the rules of engagement. Things like office hours, in other words, sending your Teams chat at 9 o'clock at night is not appropriate. We need to teach them about the tone of their messages, and this is just my little acronym because you can't have a presentation without an acronym. Spelling, punctuation, and grammar. Of course, the English teacher has to say that. But we can't complain about the quality of our daughter's writing if we don't actually point out to them where it's going wrong. And we also need to try in those chats with them to model the kind of writing and tone that we expect. In terms of monitoring work, just a couple of ideas for you. You can either ask them to put the camera on, it comes with pros and cons, as we said. And of course, it doesn't actually show
Would it? Yeah. Right. Stillness. Sorry.
Okay. Can you hear me? Okay, everybody, just having technical issues. I'm going to leave the meeting, come back in a second. Just 2 minutes, please.
Okay. You can. I'm going to in order. I just said mute. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? We are giving the microphone to Wayne. Sorry for the technical issues. Hold on.
Right. It's okay. I can scooch quite well. I hope you can all hear me now. Forgive me if you see my head in the screen, whatever else. So sorry about all the issues, ladies and gentlemen, but as you know, what's the one thing we know? Technology is guaranteed to let us down at some point. So just learn to go with the flow, relax into it. Remember, we're going boldly where no one has gone before. Anywho, as I was saying, pros and cons for using cameras to monitor work. There are also some other things you can do. So if you are wanting to monitor a group of girls and what they're doing and what they have on their screens, do chat to Lyneth or Tracy or Kevin, or even myself. I'm aware of that, ways in which you can do that. The other thing that I do is, especially when they're doing a piece of work that might take more than one lesson, and I want to make sure that they've actually been working rather than playing with their dog, their cat, their brother or sister, is I create a page in OneNote where they can put their work in progress. So WIP stands for work in progress, not whipping children into shape. And it means that you can just see that they've actually been doing what they're supposed to. And I'll mention a bit more about that in a moment. And also breakout rooms. So I send girls into breakout rooms for small group work, and then I can join the breakout room. They're usually quite horrified when they discover they've been doing something they shouldn't, and I've appeared in the meeting. So it's a wonderful tool to ensure that they're on task. Just about OneNote, one of my favorite tools for group work. It gives you the opportunity to have things like have your presenters for work, putting their work in the group work. You can record what's going on as well. Oh, I just realized I didn't make a change on the slide. There you see it. A technical issue is not actually with the technology, it's with the user. And that's probably something worth noting is that in all our haste to get everything online, sometimes we do mistype. I was actually referring to the fact that it wasn't OneNote. My slides got muddled up, but actually breakout rooms, because the breakout rooms allows you to have your presenters. It allows you to record what's going on in that breakout room. So it means you can go back and watch the video later. If you're struggling to sleep at night, you can watch your girls working together. It also means that if you've had an individual that's been off sick or a small group of girls who have missed lessons, if you need to just recap, you can send them into a breakout room with you. You can explain while the rest of the class gets on with their work. And obviously that third bullet point was about OneNote itself. There you go. You can see where it all went wrong, can't you? Okay. Just remember, and I'm going to be quiet very soon because I think you've all had enough of the garbled talking today. Remember your sound pedagogy. Just because we're online doesn't mean that we need to forget those good things that we do in the classroom. So it's not just whiteboard and talk. Also remember, don't assume. Don't assume that somebody's IT skills are the same as yours. Some children find it harder to process technical instructions than others. Some really do rely on being in the classroom with you, and that becomes a challenge for them. And the right tool for the job always helps. Establish routines that will help your girls feel more comfortable and confident in their online lessons. And just your last thoughts. Please remember, be connected, not just to the Wi-Fi, but to your colleagues. They can help you. They've often got good ideas to help you with problems. Be connected to your students. They need you to know that you're not just there to deliver content, that you're actually there for them when they need you. And also bear in mind their individual contexts. Some children can't help but work next to mom or dad who are having their own meetings as well. and it makes it very challenging for those students. Be patient with yourself. You saw today, we were all scrabbling around. It does happen. Be mindful that just as things are going wrong, people need time to fix those problems, and your students also sometimes are having problems like load shedding, annoying siblings, cats climbing on their laptops, etc. And also just be open to new ideas. And that, Mrs. Crichton, is my presentation for marks. You can give me a score later. Thank you. So we don't have sound. We're going to be cunning again. We're going to find a solution to the problem. Remember, being open to the fact that the one thing I can guarantee you is that technology will challenge you. It will give you opportunities to develop highlights in your hair for free. Unfortunately, they only come in one shade, shades of gray. There's only one shade of gray. My other job will be a stand-up comedian, because I can see that some of my colleagues who are trying to troubleshoot have collapsed. As I said, we're
Mute off. Can you hear me now? Okay. So one of the essential things you have to have when you teach hybrid learning and you have people in your class is a teaching buddy, because now I have a teaching buddy who's going to change places with me, because you can't hear me if I stand at my computer, which they can see the start of, and I can't talk from over there. So puppet with the string, does that sound familiar? So Mrs. Sartov, there was a question, luckily you can't see the faces she's pulling at me, about how to share your screen. So they can't see you, Mrs. Sartov, they can only see the screen. Click on the screen share button and share in to the screen, yes. So one of the questions is, can you see the chats and the information when a person is presenting? At this point, no. So that's all you get is a little picture, which if Mrs. Heath put her camera on, means I could see Mrs. Heath in the picture or whatever person is spotlighted. So Mrs. Sartov, just minimize again, and you will see that Tracy is in that picture, and that is all that you can see. There's no ways to see, unless if Tracy puts up her hand, it will show in the box. No, it won't show you. It won't show with your, it only shows there. So you have to go into the participation window. So there is no way, and then it shows on the right. For those people who don't know, the little emoji with the hand now comes with Mrs. Sartov. If you go there, there's more than, so you can give Mrs. Heath a clap or a laugh. And that's where you take off your hand or put it down again. There is no way to look at both. The best solution to the problem is to change the size of your screen. Mrs. Sartov, top right, the TV button. Yes, that TV button. Push it again. Can you see it's now? No, sorry. Push there. So you've got two TV square blocks instead of one. You've got one. And then you should be able to find your mouse cursor to move your screen smaller and move it around so that, for example, if you open Whiteboard again, you can do the same with the Whiteboard, and then you can click on the task button, Mrs. Sartoff. That's the funny squares next to the search button. Down, right to the taskbar. Next to the word search, there's a funny square. Yep, click on the task view. Now right click on the TeachMeet, right click on there and snap to the right. And then pick Teams meeting on the left, on the whiteboard. Yep. That's the best you can do. And you can, if you put your mouse in the middle of the screen, Mrs. Sartoff, you can make each window bigger or smaller so I can see if the hand's out. That's the best option you can get for screen share. When I teach computers, the children have to watch my screen share and, for example, follow me in IT, in Excel or Access or something. That is how they have to watch from home, because it's not like sitting in class and being able to watch the board and look down at the device. So that's the best option of getting both worlds. So Mrs. Sartoff, just in closing, we're going to add an assignment to our teams just as a refresher, but if you would go to the Microsoft Teams. Okay, just before you do that, because we can leave the meeting with Mrs. Heath and let her go to break, please remember, instead of pressing leave, you click end meeting for all. It stops and shuts down all the meeting, and then you don't remember I was recording this meeting. I don't have to go and stop the recording. So you can say end meeting, Miss. Okay, and yeah. So if you want to stop it, you just go back to the 3 dots and press stop recording. And maybe you're going to be online and ask questions. And then once the recording's saved, it will be in the meeting chat, in the meeting request, which we'll show now. So Mrs. Sartoff, just close that while it records. It's fine. You can just say leave, end meeting for everybody. It carries on. Okay. So if you close that meeting, for example, if you go to one of my grade 11 meetings, go to the key 1, and you go up, just go up in the list of chats, Mrs. Sartoff. Keep going. You should have there. No, okay, Mrs. Sartoff, it didn't record there. If you go to the general channel of innovation, you'll see the one we've just recorded. General up. And there it gets the attendance report, so I can download an Excel spreadsheet of who's attended, and the recording is there. Also, if I go back into my calendar, I can find the recording in the meeting option. But we're going to add an assignment to the MIEE team, which is the team everybody's been doing this. We're going to add a quiz. So Mrs. Sartoff, if you go to my web browser page, which is the edge icon with my face on it, the first important thing is to know you have to have a quiz, not a form, but the actual, when you create it, you have to create it as a quiz. This is what we're going to ask all of you to do when you have finished applying by the 8th of July for your MIEE applications. Please can you fill in the quiz, which gives us the links to the various, if you slide down the questions, Mrs. Sartoff, then it's your name and your group, the link to your OneNote, which includes your Microsoft Educator Center transcript and your artifacts. And if you have a different link to your Microsoft Educator transcript, then you paste it in the second answer. And then you have to answer the question that says, have you submitted the online self-nomination? Okay, we're going to add that as an assignment. So go to the team that you want the assignment on, which is our MIE team. We go to general. We go to the 3 more. We go to assignments. We click on create a quiz. Sorry, Mrs. Sartoff. Create quiz. Yes. Now, if I have a quiz, it will be in the top one. If it is a form, it will not show up in this list. Okay, press next. So the previous kind could have been a form, but then you can't add it as an assignment. And then we add some instructions. Please complete this as soon as you've completed your nomination. Those are the same 2 links that you need in your self-nomination form. Please note the co-pilots, mentors, and all the innovation team are happy to help you with any parts that you still need of this process. Mrs. Sartoff, we can put a due date, which is, let's do the 10th, the 8th, 9th of July, because it should be in by the 8th. If you look, there's a new feature where it says you can add it to calendars. So let's go add it to the assignment calendars, and where it says none, we're going to say we want to add it to everybody. Students and team owners, they will get one in their calendar to remind them that they can do it, and press assign. If you just press save, you can save it for a later time it doesn't assign it immediately. When you assign it immediately without save, if you press assign, then it actually shows up in the general channel for all the people in the team. It'll just take a minute. They will see that they have got a assignment. Hey? Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to move into our groups, but I need to join the other meeting to do the breakout room. So Mrs. Sartoff, can you just go to my calendar, because we just wanted to show you how this works. Join today's meeting. As you can see, it's got an eye, which means there are people. Turn my mic off. Join now. So from the very first meeting, whoops, Kevin, don't worry. Just click on the 3 dots for the breakout room, the square and square. Which camera? This one. Oh, okay. Okay. So on the right is the breakout rooms. The first meeting we have, I actually assigned everybody. If you click on your group, Mrs. Sartoff, if you will see all the people and all their names in the list of who's supposed to be in that group. And the way that you start it is that you press oh, because they're open. Just say close rooms. There we go. And then you press start rooms, and they'll then move you all to this. Okay, wait. There's a couple of participants at the top that aren't in their groups. Click on that, Mrs. Sartoff. Okay, click on Chrissy and say assign, and I think she is in Venus, if I remember correctly. Assign. Okay, those 2 are in Saturn. Now everybody's assigned. You click start room, and with a little bit of luck, they will all see you on the other side in your groups. It does take a few minutes. We will post a link for the video earlier, plus a link to another video where you can watch more of the things that we did in the chats. And good luck for filling in your submissions, and we will see you in class.